You don't flip people off. You don't use profanity in my courtroom. You understand me?
No.
You want to go out of here?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Wallace, get out the court. Get out the court. You know what?
Hey, what are you gonna do about it?
I thought you were.
Let's go.
Get out the courtroom, Mr. Wallace. Mr. Wallace, leave the courtroom.
He abandoned her, they get back together, and now he's accusing her of cheating. Well, 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 talk about a messy situation. Mustafa Matlock spills the tea, revealing that a while back he had to leave town for some family stuff. But the thing is, while he was away, his partner, Ms. Monroe, decided to invite her ex-lover to crash at their place.
While absent, you claim the defendant, Ms. Monroe, invited her former lover to move into your family home.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Upon your return, you say you forgave her and resumed your sexual relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
But then she dropped the bombshell that she was pregnant and you might not.
Fast forward to Mustafa's return, and he's back to getting cozy with Ms. Monroe. But here's where it gets juicy. Ms. Monroe drops the bombshell that she's not so sure about the paternity of her child. And to add fuel to the fire, she claims Mustafa went MIA on her during his absence, which pushed her into the arms of her former flame.
She knew I was back and forth from Fort Smith to Fayetteville because I have a son down in that area. Back in '07, I was down there for a week.
No, you said
it was
you
a
said
week.
you were going to be gone a weekend and you were gone a month.
It was a week. You're
you
lying.
Were gone a month.
It was a week.
You were gone a month.
Anyway, Your Honor,
you were gone a month.
when I was gone for a week.
No, you're gone
a week.
She moved her ex.
Well, ain't that a kicker? Ms. Monroe is laying it all out there. No sugarcoating whatsoever. She's basically saying, hey, I did what I had to do, but at least I was honest about it. Can you believe it? She's spinning it like Mustafa should. Be thanking her for being upfront about the whole messy situation. I mean, talk about turning things on their head. This drama keeps getting more and more outrageous by the minute.
Do you find out that she's moved another man into the house?
From her.
Yeah, I told you. At least I was honest.
Ms.
At least
Monroe,
I was honest.
Ms. Monroe, I want to hear from you. So
Yes, I am.
You was not honest
he's
about the baby.
gone now.
Yes.
For about how long?
He originally told me he'd be gone for a week.
Mr. Matlock's not holding back either. He's firing back, saying he didn't feel the need to be glued to the phone chatting with Ms. Monroe while he was spending quality time with his son. And honestly, who can blame him? Family time comes first, right? Looks like both sides are pulling out all the stops.
You should still have to talk to me if I'm your girlfriend. You should care.
You
should care.
Jealousy issues, thinking I'm sleeping with
if you would have gave me a reason, then I wouldn't have jealousy issues.
Let's get some order. Ms. Monroe, when he went out of town, did he voluntarily call you at all while he was gone?
Live.
Talk about a whirlwind romance. Ms. Monroe sure doesn't waste any time. It's like she's on fast forward mode or something. So, Mr. Matlock comes back home, the ex gets the boot, and they try to pick up where they left off. But then, plot twist. Mr. Matlock's sister drops the bombshell that Ms. Monroe is pregnant. Can you imagine the shock on his face? So, he does what any guy would do. He straight up asks her who the baby daddy is. Let's see how this drama turns out.
You're not the father. Real talk. Can't make it up. That's what she said. You are not the father. So, I'm not taking care of somebody else's baby, and you tell me that that baby is not my baby.
So, once you heard that,
out. I catch my cut, and I was gone. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Monroe's logic might be a bit shaky, but oh well. She's trying to piece it together, right? She's basically saying, hey, we've been going at it without protection for a year and a half, and no baby. But right when her ex moves in, bam, she's pregnant. It's definitely an eyebrow-raising coincidence. And then we've got Mr. Matlock throwing in his 2 cents, saying the kid could belong to anyone, even Jerome. What a funny day in court. Looks like we've got ourselves a real mystery here.
you don't think the child looks like you? You don't feel any attachment?
Baby.
You
She
talking
would-
about this Jerome?
That Jerome.
No, it's not mine.
She looks a little dark to be his baby.
You
That
better not
man
mess
right
with
there.
Jerome.
It could be
She a
his
little
baby.
dark
The
to be his
point
baby.
is that you have doubt. Do you know for certain or you just doubt?
Well, if that isn't such a truth bomb, once you drop that bombshell and tell a guy he's not the father, there's no taking it back. It's like ringing a bell. Once it's rung, you can't unring it. However, Ms. Monroe's flipping the script. She's doing a complete 180 and changing her tune about Mr. Matlock being the daddy. That's a queen right there. What a woman.
Happy New Year's. What's up? What's up is you need to check on your daughter. I didn't even know she had a girl. Another man was in the hospital room with her when the baby was born.
where was-
I was
if
back.
you
I was back in town taking care of my son, doing what a father's supposed to be. And if you would have been
but
real
you
about
wouldn't
it,
take care of her.
if you would have been real
What you
about
done
it
for her?
in the beginning,
What you done
you
for
don't
her?
never know. If you wouldn't.
Mr. Matlock's in quite the pickle now. Despite his doubts about being the dad, he's shelling out child support for this kid. But here's the thing. He gets a Facebook message from the other guy Ms. Monroe was seeing, spilling the beans about another potential baby daddy in the mix. So, how in the world did Mr. Matlock end up on the hook for child support for a kid he's not even sure is his?
She didn't want to
that's
get
not
the
what
DNA
happened.
test done. It's
You
been
wanted to take me on,
it's
Lori.
been for 4 years. And she didn't never want to know who the father of this child was. So let's get it done. Put me
I
on
tried
child
to call
support.
you from the hospital.
I
tried to call you from the hospital.
You ain't do a good job. I called them, filled out the papers they wanted me to send so I can.
Now please cut to the chase. Today's the day we finally put an end to all this drama. It's DNA test time. We're about to find out once and for all who the real dad is. This is the moment of truth, because there's no more beating around the bush. Judge Lake reads out the truth.
Mr. Matlock, the wait is over. You are not.
I knew it. I want my money back. I told you I wasn't the father of that child. I knew it.
Jerome, would you go check on Ms. Monroe and see if we can escort her back in the courtroom?
I want all my money back. I worked way too hard. My son could have been had that money.
This man standing in the courtroom today is Paternity Court's most wanted man. This is not his first time here, nor his second. It's his third time in the Paternity Court for various reasons with different women. Here is what happened during his first visit.
Ms. Reed, you are demanding that Ms. Austin have a paternity test administered on her child, whom she claims was fathered by your estranged husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're hoping the DNA test will prove that your husband is not her baby's father. Additionally, you are suing his mistress, Ms.
Imagine that. How are you engaged to someone you have a baby with and still finding time to have another girlfriend? What a guy. As an icing on the cake, Mr. Wallace was not present at the hospital while all this was happening. He was not there while his pregnant fiancée was giving birth to his baby. Away from all that, here was the reason he was at paternity court the second time.
Now, it would be different if you were just a young man sowing your oats.
I am.
And you had let all these women know that, listen, I'm a dating man, I'm single, but you're not single.
I am.
You're not single. You are married to her.
That was an accident. That was a...
No.
So now it was an accident.
Okay.
So now it was an accident.
And so,
Right.
And so I hope.
What a turnout of events. Today, however, Mr. Wallace is in court today to prove that he is not the father of Ronald. Now, here's a little plot twist to get the court case going. Miss Austin tells the court that she's here to test the paternity of Ronald, but she's currently pregnant for her third child for Mr. Wallace. Now, this man has been going back and forth with 2 women as his current girlfriend is also pregnant right now. How does that even work?
Because let me just say something, because last time I talked to you on the phone, you know I called you one day. You had your kids, you sounded so happy, you sound like you were on the right track, you said you had your kids and you all were having a great day, and I have been talking about you nonstop since then. When people ask me some of the cases that mean the most to me, you're one of the people. And so I have to say before I even start today, I'm so mad you all back up in here.
Now, the wild part of all this is the fact that they're here. If Mr. Wallace is obviously going back and forth between these 2 women, why does he have any doubt that baby Ronell is his? It's absolutely mind-numbing. You will not believe the answer that Mr. Wallace gave to the court.
If you've been having babies with both of these women back and forth all this time.
Because she's very promiscuous. When we was together, I had installed, it was like spyware on her phone. It's what they would duplicate her text messages and call log and send a copy to my email. And again, for about the 5th, 6th time.
Every single thing about this man shows that he is a red flag. Everything. He could even be a psychopath. After installing the spyware into her phone, he got copies of her text messages and call logs sent to his email. He basically went full stalker mode on this woman. He claims that there were about 6 she was on the phone with. Without any proof whatsoever, he adds that she slept with them all. What a guy.
Miss Austin, were you sleeping with these men?
No. Lie detector me, please, right now.
How is you can't just be involved with all these different men without doing
Who, I'm not you, just because you lay down with everybody who you talk to. Because that's what you do.
You and the Lord know you a slut. And
No,
that's like-
you're a slut.
Hold on.
You're a slut. You're a
Mr.
slut.
Wallace,
You're a
you
slut.
remember from the
You're a
last time
slut.
you were here,
I don't-
we are going to speak to women respect.
Well, oops. They went on bickering until Mr. Wallace eventually said he kept sleeping with Ms. Austin because she was easily accessible. Ms. Austin insisted that it was easy to access her because his current girlfriend, Ms. Roberts, allows him to. This led to a physical face-off between both women, led by Ms. Roberts. Unsurprising, she got removed from the courtroom. If Mr. Wallace didn't get both women pregnant for him at the same time, nobody would need to be here.
The mistakes
No,
that I made.
actually, Raniel left his apartment and he moved with Kendrelyn.
Just out of the blue, he woke up and said, I'm
Exactly.
going
I
to move with
didn't
Miss Roberts
just
now?
go with
No.
her.
So what happened?
You were being promiscuous, and I'm not gonna tolerate that.
So basically, Mr. Wallace, you can sleep around, but your women can't.
Great question from Judge Lake. Very insightful. He goes on to say that although there are a lot of glaringly similar features between he and Ronell, he has to judge Ms. Austin's behaviors while they were together. He also has to consider the possibilities of there being another man before he can consider physical similarities between himself and baby Ronell.
You couldn't forgive her. You all couldn't work through this. Instead, you just went to stay with Miss Roberts.
And abandoned me and my children.
That's false.
The apartment that I have now is because I moved in because of Ronell. Because of Ronell. Ronell left me to go be with Ms. Roberts. He don't care. It's all about him, and he doesn't care. And I'm done. Like, what more can I put into this?
That's false.
What an emotional situation this has become all of a sudden. If this man keeps putting these women through all this pain and turbulence, it's completely crazy that they stick to him and not let go. What could possibly be the reason? We get to know how Mr. Wallace feels about the entire situation. Hell breaks loose in court.
Agitated.
You feel agitated?
Yes.
Tell me.
Because of the bull crap performance she put on. Look, well, I need to walk out.
Let's sit here and finish it. Come on.
Ronell, don't walk out again. You can stand up here. Do not repeat the same mistake as last time. Stand up here.
The courtroom just got even hotter. If you thought Mr. Wallace was a psych before, you definitely haven't seen anything yet. Mr. Wallace is escorted back into the courtroom after a short while, and Judge Lake tells him the much-needed truth. She's definitely not taking anybody's side, but only asking the needed questions. Now, after a long time, on to the results.
Mr. Wallace, you are Ronell's father. I want to get you all some help. I have joining me today via Skype a gentleman by the name of Mr. Wright. Now, he's a social worker in Chicago, your hometown, based right there. Thank you so much for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, I have a number of social services. I have a number of resources that I want to wrap these.
High school sweethearts have 2 kids together, and he's denying both of them. The couple are now in their late 20s too. This romance has started all the way back in 2009 while they were both in high school. Mr. Pippin met Ms. Lewis on the school bus, and they were already having sex a year later at age 16. He'd already asked her to have his first child. Oh, kids. Looks like Mr. Pippin does not share all these fond memories, though. He calls her a liar and a cheat. He does not believe the baby is his.
Oh, so you're saying it's a timing issue?
Yes, ma'am. I was staying in Tarboro at the time with Miss Sanders.
I have the proof from y'all if you want to see.
I would like to see the proof. Jerome, please pass that to me.
And it said I got pregnant on conception was on May 25th when I was with Mr. Pippin because he kept blowing my phone and popping up at my house. So I can't be with somebody and he kept popping up, crawling over top of my daggone balcony, knocking on my back door.
Mr. Pippin's already stated that he wanted to be with Ms. Lewis. She adds that he tells her that he wants her to be the mother of his children and he wants them to get married. After saying all of this, he simply went over to Ms. Sanders' house to keep living there with her. What a guy.
You are her child's biological father.
Her with her ex-boyfriend.
Your Honor, when he told me,
okay, now we're getting
and then
somewhere.
I tried to call her phone. She didn't want to answer her phone.
Your Honor,
so
when
I
he
went
said,
to the house when she got. By the time I got there, she was back to the house. So I asked her about it.
Your Honor, the night he claiming he saw his mate's boyfriend was in December of 2011.
Ms. Lewis goes on to say that Mr. Pippin does not care about baby Quayshawn because he slammed the door on the poor baby. This happened when he found out about the possibility of the baby being his. To make matters even worse, Mr. Pippin claims to have proof here in court today that this baby is definitely not his.
Hand me that evidence. Mr. Pippin, what exactly is this?
That's the
evidence
proof of the DNA test. The results was that I was not the father.
Your Honor, you know why he's not the father? Mr. Pippin and him that day kept going forth to the bathroom, chewing on stuff, whispering Miss Sanders about different things.
Yes, Your Honor.
And asking her, she kept saying, well, did you do it? Did you do it?
But Your Honor, but I did not.
To the bathroom,
Your Honor, how can you
Hold on, so what's this?
I need to provide
Let's get some order.
Oh my! After so much bickering from all parties involved, we get to the truth of the matter. The paternity test results are out, and for sure, this one is very, very real. Judge Lake reads out the test results, and the truth is out.
Mr. Pippin, you are not.
I told you then. I told you.
Okay, don't mean no difference. You ain't been doing nothing
Same
no way.
thing.
So he ain't lost a game, that he still got a father who's got his
Why is you
back.
making a big point of it?
Ms. Lewis, calm down. Calm down. Because this is a mess. And yet, you two continue to have a sexual relationship.
Now, that's not all of it. Remember how these two supposedly had 2 children together? Now, it's time for the second child's results.
Mr. Pippin, you are his father.
Thank
I told you.
Then I step up and do what I gotta do. That's what I want to know.
I might mess up with the
That's
first one, the
case,
second one.
But that's the case, I do what I gotta do.
Let me say this. This energy between all of you is just so toxic. I'm worried for the children. All of them. Yours together.
Mr. Tinch wants his $60 back from the mother of his supposed child if the paternity results today prove that he's not the biological father. Out of all the psycho fathers in court today, this one deserves a medal. The $60 in question is money used to purchase a baby stroller for the baby. Now, Mr. Tinch has reason to doubt that she's his biological daughter, and he wants his money back.
Mr. Tinch, moving forward a little bit, you say you were at a doctor's appointment, and something about the doctor's appointment made you doubtful?
Yes, because they said that she was about a week and a half pregnant, and like I said,
Your Honor,
about a week.
You cannot find out that you're pregnant at just a week and a half.
Yes,
you got to be 4
yes, you
weeks.
can.
I don't know what was going through his mind. I don't know if it was the hose that he was cheating on me with.
Now, Mr. Tinch insists on the paternity of the baby for an interesting reason. She went to visit the father of her first child, and after the visit, Ms. Grubb mentioned to Mr. Tinch that they kissed. However, one bit of important information his brain failed to put together was that she was already pregnant before this visit. One doesn't become pregnant, then get pregnant for another man with the same pregnancy, Mr. Tinch.
Like, I took care of my kids by myself for basically 5 years. My son, 5 years, and my daughter, a year and a half.
So, Ms. Grubb, you have 2 children.
Yes, Your Honor.
And how old are you?
18.
18 years old.
Yes, Your Honor.
With 2 children.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you were a teenage mother, you still are a teenage mother.
Yes, Your Honor.
I need to understand, Mr. Tinch.
Mrs. Grubb's ex is in court today as well, and he says squarely that he believes Mr. Tinch is using him as an excuse to avoid taking care of his responsibility. What a guy. Goes on to hit the nail right on the head. He adds that he and Ms. Grubb are just friends, and there is absolutely nothing going on between them both.
Now, Christian looks like Mike. He looks identical to Mike. But Natalie looks nothing like Mike. Nothing at all. And it hurts me because every single day for a year and a half, Natalie has said, "Mommy, where's Daddy? Mommy, 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 Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." And it hurts me because I don't know what to tell her.
Oh, Natalie. Looks like we all want to know who Daddy is. We're just about to find out. The results are in, and the truth is about to come out. Who is Daddy? Hopefully, it's one of these men in court, and crazily enough, let's hope it's the $60 psycho in our story today.
That the biological father is Mr. Tinch. How does it feel, Mr. Tinch? Your doubts are put to rest?
Yeah, it feels good. It feels really good. I don't feel heartbroken no more. I feel like a piece of my heart's been filled back in, now that I know for sure. I mean, I'd like to work things out with Hope if she's trying to.
That's all I've wanted, was for you to grow up and be in her life. That's all I've wanted.